you need your flannel. Hold on.
Yeah, I can live with that. It's fine. You have flannel, and so does that dude. I always wear black.
Okay.
I only have flannel PJs. I'll talk about it.
We should put those on. Those have been dope. Anyways, it's flannel day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're waiting for people to stream in. If you're watching this after the fact, Facebook has taken away the ability for us to actually edit, trim out a video, to trim out the stuff in the beginning of the video. I don't know why Facebook does this. Apparently, it's only me, not everybody else. So we are going to go to our main camera.
Like you?
Facebook freaking hates me. Hates me. Hello, junkies.
Hey, Nelson. Nice to see you. Hey,
it's
Julie.
Flannel
Hey,
Day.
Iceberg. Nice to see you.
And we got a bunch of dudes with flannel. I have no idea who these dudes are.
Steve, I was hoping that you were going to join after the text you just sent where you're like, I know you have Sigler-in-Place, but I was a little worried.
See, Rob's all over you. You need your flannel. I bet Rob's got his flannel on. I bet Rob's got his flannel. Here we go. And we're now going to get rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sigler-in-Place.
Hi, guys.
I got the orange and black flannel.
I bought this for him.
Yes, you did.
As a birthday gift. Does that count? Because I don't have any. I only have flannel PJs and
Richard, Genelia, Tracy, Mike, Sherry. And then, of course, if you look, that's my shirt. That's pretty much my shirt in the front. But back to the main camera. Welcome, everybody. It's great to see you all in this post-Super Bowl era. Now, many of you may have watched the game on Sunday. We watched the game on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I ate a ton. And I'm afraid
Hello, Jude.
I'm afraid the celebration continued on till, I'm going to guess, what's today? Wednesday?
Yeah, yesterday.
It carried on till Tuesday. Because this morning I woke up FT, oh my God, so hungover. It was, it shot the whole day. Shot the whole day in the crapper. But I did get a bunch of stuff done.
And the worst part about that is we recorded last night. Like we were so close to being so good and then screwed it up right at the end.
Yeah, screwed it up. I just one too many drinks at the end of the day. And then this morning woke up like, oh goodness, Lord, I have.
But even one too many was 2.5.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot. It just for some reason, sometimes you roll the bones and they come up snake eyes. That's how they
Shannon.
do it.
Hey, boss. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Ruthie. Nice to see you out there.
All right. Let's, we have quite a show for you guys lined up today. Lots of good dog pictures, which is what it's really all about.
Lots of good dog pictures. It's true.
Coming up in this episode, we have Gangster updates. So the updates on the hardcover, on the ebook and everything. We've got Pupdates, everybody's favorite spot. We've got junkie picks. If we have time, we have questions. We got questions. And also, ladies and gentlemen, coming up this week, episode number 11 of The Gangster. Yes, the audiobook is in review, which we'll get to when we do updates, but it's not available yet. Right now, the only way you can hear the lovely, mellifluous, effervescent, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning, spectacular voice, that is mine, is to listen to the Gangster audiobook as it is in process. And episode number 11 coming up real soon. Let's go back to today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very important.
It is.
Today's National Flannel Day.
It is.
Yeah. And in our effort to entertain you now once a week, and then every other Saturday with StorySmack, we got to come up with something to jazz up, to zhuzh up the day, so to speak. Zhuzh up the day.
Yeah.
And I picked up that word because A's been watching a lot of Queer Eye. And
you watch some Queer Eye with me,
I'll come in and sit down and watch. I'm like, well, what's he doing? Well, who's this guy?
Zhuzhing.
What's his story? So I'll sit down, and there's a lot of zhuzhing. There's a lot of zhuzhing.
Yeah.
Also, every damn episode is about somebody's spouse dying, and I'm like,
that's not every episode at all. But all of the Queer Eyes are tearjerkers.
Makes me cry.
That part is true. Yeah.
Guys, a new thing with chat. Now, this was just launched. Spider, you got to get some flannel, buddy. You got to hook it up.
I can't believe you don't have any flannel.
If you look at our chat, look at the graphic on the bottom.
You live in a cold place.
The chat graphic. Restream just launched this. It just popped up when it came out. So apparently, you see the chat window in the middle. There is now a way to connect your profile to the chat window, so your little tiny picture will show up in the chat window. If you want to do that, that is the address you have to go to. I have not done it yet. I have not tested this at all. You are my guinea pigs. Go crazy if you want to do that. Oh, babe. Oh, babe.
Oh, Lord.
Babe.
What?
Babe.
What?
Guess what we got coming up on StorySmack?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my God. Maybe the second best movie of all time behind Aliens. You guys, it's coming! Big Trouble in Little China on Saturday, February 20th, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to have Empty Set, Movie Maven, and Big Trucker. Wait, no, that's not right. Big Off-Road Truck? No. What would... How do you say
Over the road trucker?
Over the road trucker, Rob Otto, who at times can get into trouble and shoot lightning bolts out his butt.
Well, that's news.
It's a lot like Big Trouble in Little China.
Definitely news to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to watch this. If you want to watch along on the 20th of February, which is not this Saturday, but the Saturday after this Saturday, we will be going over this movie with Rob on the StorySmack, because I think it's is it the 30th or 35th or
I think it's
35th anniversary,
35th
something
anniversary.
like that.
It's insane. Spectacular movie. Kim Cattrall. Come on, Kim Cattrall. It's incredible.
There's lots going on in this movie.
It's definitely a movie that old Jack Burton would have you watch. So rewatch it. Tune in to us.
Chris McWhite is talking about finding his CB.
Yes,
which you don't need if you happen to have an Apple Watch. You don't need. If you're this Sigler, you don't need it.
You want to get let's do this on the fly.
No, we don't have
Since
to.
we figured out the walkie-talkie and Apple Watch, it's been like this.
You want to
nonstop.
Want to make the big.
Oh yeah, it's going to be good call. Thanks, baby.
Wow.
Wait, my phone is checking availability. I grew up. I'm a child of the '80s, so walkie-talkie's a big deal. Agent A, come on in. We got get a walkie-talkie over.
I need to tell you guys that's my phone. That's him talking to me with the little walkie-talkie app. He does that. We live in a 943 square foot place. You can hear everything. I work downstairs and he works upstairs in this room. And I bet if he had his door open, because this is kind of soundproofed, I know you can see. If that door is open behind me, he can hear me eat potato chips.
Yep.
And nonetheless, we can be sitting right next to each other and he will walkie-talkie me and he will use the
we got to use a walkie-talkie over. It's so much fun, and when I do it, I don't mean to, but it scares the poop out of me. Yeah. She'll be sitting there typing, whoop, just go crazy. Yeah. All right.
There we go.
It's time for but just to sum up, y'all. Come on. If you youngsters have not seen this movie, it absolutely stands the test of time. It is so much fun, so good, so weird, so wacky, and Rob will have copious amounts of stories for it. And now let's get back to
And if you guys are normally routine ritual SIGLERinPLACE watchers and you haven't yet tried StorySmack, but you're not doing anything that Saturday, you might as well join us. It's a lot the same. We're talking specifically about a movie and not about us and you guys, but it's still a lot of sass and and especially since Rob and Scott have known each other quite literally almost all their lives. Yeah. There's a whole bunch more sass.
We also give away a lot of cars, so it's a much better show.
We don't give away any cars.
Much better show to watch. Baby, I think it's time for SIGLERbrations.
Not one car.
Not one car. Well, I mean, not many, but not one. Go ahead.
So we have several updates. We have I didn't bring them upstairs, but I will show you them next week. Simorg, who is in the chat room, as you guys know, makes masks. And recently, the mask mandate has changed. And now you're supposed to double mask, or you're supposed to wear at least 4 layers, including a filter. And we already showed you the great mask that she already made for us. Mine, I think, is Doctor Who fabric, and his was orange and black. Oh, it would have matched this. You could have worn it today.
Nabbit.
And did you go out today?
I never go out.
Okay. And then we just got them, and they're so beautiful, but I left them downstairs. So I'm going to show them to you next week. But thank you so much. They're gorgeous. They have protection symbols on them, so they're very fancy. And I'll show them to you next week.
Very cool.
I also want to say Christine Nielsen, or the Nielsens, I'm not sure if Christine's in the chat room, but Christine sent me party favors, I guess, wedding favors. Her son was getting married in 2020. I did not know we were getting married, but just like us. And they knew they were getting married, and his now wife made their wedding favors, which are tiny little crocheted krakens. I think they might be octopus, but we're going to call them krakens. And we got one because, unfortunately, I had to, I think, rejigger their idea of what their wedding would be, because they still wanted to get married in 2020, but they couldn't have the big event. And I hate that. I hate that they had to postpone it. But I love that we got a little kraken. It's so cute. And I will show you that next week, too. I left them both downstairs because I ran upstairs. We also have a handful of birthdays. Danny Lundy, the dolphin.
Hey, guy.
His birthday is, I think, Saturday, is the 13th of February, which is Saturday, I think. Also, my good friend and my former business partner at Audacity Events, Allison Wren, who I don't think is in the chat room yet, she has a birthday on Valentine's Day. She's a Valentine's Day baby. So Happy birthday to you. I love you very much. And then my good friend Stephen King has a birthday on Monday. And I wanted to say happy birthday to you and that I love you too. So those are the celebrations I think I have.
Think about it, the real Valentine's babies would be born in November.
Well, maybe both.
Let's get it on.
I will tell you
about you, baby.
super tiny short story. For a while, Allison and I went to the same Zumba class back when you could do Zumba classes. And our Zumba instructor was also born on Valentine's Day. And when it was your birthday, our instructor, who's an enormously lovely, talented woman named Jalen, she would instruct everyone else. She would reach out to everyone else in your class and say, cool, it's A's birthday. Please wear all black. Because, of course, I wear all black. Mm-hmm. On Valentine's Day, since it was her birthday and Allison's birthday, they sent out a message saying, just please, let's make it a birthday thing. Don't wear pink. Don't wear pink. Wear black because it's Valentine's Day, but it's our birthday. We both hate pink. And then they showed up dressed in pink and we were all in black and it was awesome. So we can't do anything like that anymore. So I figured I'd tell you about it. But you guys,
for the win.
February babies, happy birthday to you guys. I hope you have a great, great weekend. Everybody who's celebrating Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day this weekend, I hope you guys have a great weekend too.
Dawn, happy birthday. Happy birthday coming up real quick. We miss any birthdays in the chat room?
Oh, Dawn, happy birthday to you. We're going to miss that too. Bummer.
We got Mel is in here from Western Australia. Welcome,
sir. Nice to see you guys. So we do have a few empty set updates. You guys.
Oh, wait, you got that in there, right?
Nope, we're right here.
Oh, gotcha. Wait. Oh, yeah. I was prepared for that. I was prepared.
So we, as you probably know, we finally published the ebook for. Well, I was going to do empty set. We'll do that one. We'll do that one. That's fine. Go ahead. We'll do that one first.
Sorry, babe.
So we, of course, as you guys know, are still soliciting reviews. That's a very, very, very long book. So if you just got finished reading Fitzroy or if you're in the middle of it, we would love to have your reviews. I cannot tell you how important it is because this is a relationship that we have with Audible. So the better we do with this book, the more likely we are to have the ability to do more books with them. You guys
can't see this in this tiny graphic. Right now we're at 1,467 reviews.
So if you are so inclined, we would love that.
Fastest rate of review we've ever had. We got just a ton coming in. Earthcore's up well over 10,000 reviews, which is fantastic. But the people at Audible are happy about this.
Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah. And they're very, very happy with us. They're very, very happy with you guys, especially.
Yeah, they love you guys.
And so if you have the wherewithal and you would like to leave a review at Audible would be great. Eventually, the reviews at Audible and the reviews at Amazon will merge, but that can take 13 or more months right now.
And remember, when you do the reviews, go click, if it's a 5-star, click helpful. Boom. Continue, baby.
So if you are so inclined, just even copying and pasting to Amazon and Audible would be wonderful for us. And we would appreciate it quite a lot.
Yes.
Also, moving on to empty set updates. As you guys know, hopefully you know, we sent out the ebook for the Gangster last week. And we also posted the ebook for the Gangster. Right now, it's still just published at Amazon. And it's Amazon and ScottSigler.com. And it's propagating through Amazon. So if you're not in the United States, especially Australia, Japan, and the UK, you may not yet see it. But I have reached out to them, and I know it's coming. It's just taking with... I don't know what the deal is with Australia, but with Japan, it always takes a little bit longer. And the UK is dealing with new stuff. So I had to fill out new paperwork because of Brexit and all that stuff. So that got delayed because there was paperwork I didn't know I needed to fill out. So I filled that out. So you should be seeing that soon as well.
And of course, we just showed you this little link right here. You go to scottsigler.com/thegangster, one word, or the-gangster. Takes you over to here, and then you can go get your ebook.
Yeah, and if you have already ordered if you have pre-ordered since April of 2019, the hardcover of this book, if you have not received your ebook, if you haven't received the zip file from me, please shoot me an email at info@emptyset. There you go.
Yep.
And just say, I pre-ordered, I didn't get my copy, what the heck is you guys, and I will send it to you. It'll be fine. If you haven't yet pre-ordered The Gangster, I will also tell you that we are back on track, and we are back on the print schedule, and we will probably print, unless there's another lockdown, in the beginning of April. And I'm not saying anything else yet because there needs to not be another lockdown in the town where the printer is. If they go back to phase 1, they're obligated to send enough people home because they can only have a certain number of people on the printing floor that they have to stop the presses. And if they stop the presses, we'll lose our print place again. But I don't think that that's going to happen now because now they've been shut down twice and they made accommodations. So hopefully we won't have to do that. So that means that we're going to print the book late March, early April, unless somebody else drops out and then we might scoot up. I don't know, but we're going to plan for that.
All right.
And then we used to do a Hell Week where we got a bunch of lovely junkies who worked for Pizza and Bud Light. I'm not even kidding you. Pizza and Bud Light. That's all we gave them.
Legal tender in the world of the Siglerverse. Very much.
They had to pay their own room and board. There were several people who had to pay their flights into San Diego, but and then we would give them all the food and drink that they could have, and we worked for about a week and sent out about 2,000 books. We're going to have to do that ourselves this year because that is non-viable, and it's not healthy, and it's not smart. So we expect that by the end of April, we will have the physical books here in this tiny place. And we will do the same thing that we did with The Rookie before you guys knew that we were good as our word, and it was just the two of us. And we shipped out about 1,200 copies of The Rookie in 9 days, 14-hour days. We're probably going to do the same thing, I think.
It's going to take a
we're
little while.
Also a decade older. So it may take more than 9 days, but we're going to work as hard as we can to get it done.
We were catching cat naps in the storage unit with no electricity.
No
plumbing. And we had to be like, okay, did they have bathrooms there? I don't remember. No,
they didn't have bathrooms
They
there.
didn't. Yeah, so we would work till like 3 or 4 in the morning and like go to sleep on the pallets of books. Try to catch like 2 hours and then get up and get at it again.
We only did that for 2 nights, though.
Yeah.
It took 9 days, and for 2 of those nights, we just powered through because we were almost done.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'll see. Scott has a photo of me literally sleeping on a pallet of books, just exhausted in the middle of the day. So we'll see if we can find that for next week. However, if you haven't yet pre-ordered The Gangster, and you would like to pre-order The Gangster, you can absolutely still do that. And when you do, when you get your receipt for the purchase, now your ebook will be attached to it because the ebook now exists. So you don't even have to wait for me to email it to you. If you have had any problems with your Gangster order, if you need to change your address because you've moved since April of 2019, just email me at info@emptyset. If you didn't get your ebook, if you have questions about whether or not you ordered once, twice, or 16 times, info@emptyset, and I'll help you out.
If you haven't ordered your hardcover yet, pre-order your hardcover, now's the time to do it. Because there's people who have been waiting well over a year to get their hardcover they pre-ordered. But you, sirs and or ma'ams, will order it, will instantly get your free ebook, and we'll have the hardcover in your hands in a couple of months. So go to scottsigler.com/thegangster. There's only going to be 2,000 of these, then we cut them off all together.
Courtney also heard you making the photo sounds. I heard that in my headphones.
Shannon said, what were you taking photos of?
What were you taking
photos of? We're going to have next episode next Wednesday. We're going to have more Scott Reed's 1-star reviews of Mount Fitzroy.
Yes.
They look
always
good.
A good thing.
They already look real good. I'm very excited.
I don't know if you guys know this, but we've been talking these last couple of weeks, I guess, about things that we can do on SIGLERinPLACE because, of course, we've moved to once a week, but it's really hard to tell when we'll all get back to the lives we had before the pandemic.
Yes.
So there was a thing that Scott did a while back called Scotty Doesn't Know. And we sort of talked about doing that again. If you are unfamiliar with Scotty Doesn't Know, it is worth going to youtube.com/Scott Sigler and searching for Scotty Doesn't Know.
And except for the movie version of that. That's where we got it from.
Yeah. So I forget, is that called, it's not called Scotty
There's
Doesn't Know.
There's a song called Matt Damon sings a song called Scotty Doesn't Know.
Yeah, so it has nothing to do with that, but it is worth watching. And if you've ever been to a Sigler Fest or been on this SIGLERinPLACE where you see Scott talking out of his butthole, you will love Sigler. Scotty Doesn't Know.
All right, baby.
One last thing. If you have anything to celebrate, I have a ton of pet pics. You're going to see some of them. Andrea, saw you in the chat room. We're going to see yours. If you have pet pics, if you have yourself pics, if you have things to celebrate, info@emptyset, because my favorite SIGLERinPLACEs are when we're talking about us and you guys. If you guys enjoy that too, go ahead and send crazy pictures, whatever else, dog pictures, you pictures, anything would be great. And now I'm fine.
All right, Dawn Shipley, I'm in my sweatpants. So basically pajamas as well. All right, and now we are going to go to, ladies and gentlemen, we're queued up over here.
Mm-hmm.
This is why A and I make the big bucks. This is why we're pulling in 8 figures a year, because we get crazy advertisers on our show who pay us so much that we feel we just have to give it back to them and pay them a little bit just to be on our show. This
is
week's sponsor.
Whoops.
Nabbit. I was trying to be smooth and I was not. Here we go. Boom. There we go.
Okay, so this is kind of interesting. We have been trying very hard to choose charities that either have an international component, like a similar thing somewhere out there, are about COVID and PPE and staying safe, or are about literacy and that kind of thing. We have had a handful of folks send things in that are very local. And so I'm going to look into that for this year a little bit and feature them here and there. This is sort of a hybrid of those two. This is Scrap Creative Reuse. And this is a charity, a 501c3 in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which takes in your extra craft supplies. If you're like, oh, I love beading. Oh, I'm done with beading. Oh, I love crafting, whatever. And they will take your donations of craft supplies or materials or raw materials or maker materials, and then they package them up and they sell them or give them away depending on what your need is. And the reason I know about this, which is also interesting for you guys, is we had somebody reach out and ask, and I'll be very circumspect about this, but we had somebody come and reach out and say, hey, do you guys do Cameo? And Cameo is a video service where
get famous people to read your stuff.
Right. Where we've had a couple of requests so far, but this one was really interesting. It was like, I'd really like to do this. My boyfriend's birthday is soon, and he just loves Scott's writing, and it would be so great, but you're not on Cameo. I've been looking for a year since his last birthday. And we're not going to do that because we don't need anything else on our plate. Scott's busy enough, and we got enough going on. But what I will say is this. If you are interested in having Scott send you or somebody you love a personalized video message for a birthday or an anniversary or something like that, here's how you do that. You send me at info@emptyset a receipt for $20 or more to a charity of your choice and the information for the person that you want. If you go to Cameo, if you've ever done Cameo, they say, what is the person's name? How old are you? What is the celebration? Give us information about them so that Scott can say, hey, I understand you're turning 50 in June. Good for you, blah, blah, blah. But he needs the information to be able to send a personalized video. If you would like him to send a Cameo video to you, you can email info@emptyset, attach a receipt to a 501c3 charity of your choice that is at least $20 or more. And we will see if we can get that done. All right. And I think that we can. Anyway, if you guys want that would be amazing. I'm going to feature every once in a while. I'm going to feature local charities too. So I'm opening this up. If you have a very precious to you, but very localized, I'm looking at you, presses. You guys have a theater. I would like to know about how to advertise that or how to offer donations for that theater. I would like to get that done. So if you guys have a local to you charity, Joshua Loya, if you are paying attention, you're next week. So don't worry about it. You don't have to send it back in again. If you want to send in something local, 2021 is all about you serving your community while still staying safe.
Yes. And many people have been asking, by many people, I mean Shannon, why are we not already doing Cameo? Because, I don't call it price gouging exactly. Mm-hmm. I know people got to make a buck the way they got to make a buck, but we've gone to so many cons and watched so many people in the sci-fi space with the charge for the autograph line. And it's great because everybody's happy. Everybody wins. You get your picture, you get your autograph, they make some money. It's always been to us, been like, gosh, I mean, with what we do, if we get you guys to buy the books when we ask you to buy them and buy all the stuff, it's hard to ask for more on top of that. So we haven't done Cameo, but this is different. This came up with this. You guys donate to a charity and we'll see what we can do about getting you some video action.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that we'll never do Cameo, but we have been approached a handful of times by conventions, by San Diego Comic-Con, by Dragon Con for sure. They ask every year if he'd like to do an autograph line. But his MO, remember, if you're a longtime junkie, a new junkie, you already know this. He dances with the one that brought him, right? Like his goal is, I'm here because you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're here for me, I want to be here for you. And it doesn't make a ton of sense to pay $25 to get a picture and an autograph with him at DragonCon if you can just go to the Hilton Bar at DragonCon and get all the pictures and signatures you want. And this is sort of the same thing. I'm not saying we won't ever do a Cameo or whatever, but then you would have to pay whatever their platform prices are, which are definitely higher than $20, and it's a pandemic. So we wanted to offer to our friends and fans like these folks, everybody who's here with us every week, if you have a gift like that. Now, I will tell you that just like if you ask for a personalized signature, it has to be something that Scott is willing to say. It is not you give $20 and he curses out your ex for you.
Correct.
That's not going to happen necessarily.
I will not give love to any football team except the Detroit Lions. So
true. And that's actually true if you don't know that about, if you ask for a personalization in your copy of the GFL that says, Scott, please tell me, Kansas City Chiefs are my favorite thing, he will write, Lions are my favorite team.
Yep.
Every
that's
time.
Right. That's
right.
But
yeah, that's kind of why that we're not yet doing Cameo, because we feel like everybody's got enough going on in the pandemic. But that doesn't mean if you want to send this to some of your friends or your junkie friends or things like that, that we could do that. We could do this.
And I will say, since I am creating video that will leave my hands, it will not be incredibly over the top. I may say some relatively untoward things that are still defensible in court. That's that's drawing the line. I don't I don't want some shit.
Well, and some of you may or may not know this,
like,
but
who is this asshole?
In my career, I have also worked with Adam Savage of the Mythbusters, and he has a terrific policy on this. He's like, I will absolutely, if I'm not with my children, I will take a photo with you, but I'm not going to do video because it's hard to tell what you may do with that. And so a lot of people we've been together and I have asked him to do that sort of thing. And I have to say, like, no, he'll absolutely take a picture of you. And we've had more than one person say, I need you to curse out my ex-wife because she's a huge fan. That is no celebrity who is smart would do that. And we that's not our house. Our house is a place of fun and a place of celebration and a place where you can come and be safe. And that's not going to happen. However, if, for example, if you want to send one of your junkie friends a personalized video, go ahead and email us at info@emptyset, and all that money will go to charity. That's all the money that we make for that. You are that we don't make the money. You do. You donate it to a charity and you send us a receipt.
And the last thing I'll say is those videos will be kind of fast and furious, but that's why people call me Mr. Diesel.
And that's Cameo.
$1 billion.
We got a gorgeous Cameo for Christmas from our friend JC Hutchins, and it was spectacular.
We'll play that sometime.
Yeah,
it was
cool. Really super fun.
Aliens
and we're not
fans,
we're just gonna say that it's an aliens related thing. We tittered for 2 days.
It was before we even knew what Cameo was. I never heard of it. And all of a sudden, Hutch just drops this bomb. And I'm like, what? Yeah. Holy cow. It was really cool.
And I will say, I had one. I know my sister from another Mr. Shannon got a Cameo from her wife, which was spectacular. And I got for my bachelorette before I had a tiny bachelorette before our secret surprise elopement with some good friends, and Tuna Melts My Heart was my special Cameo.
It was incredible.
And he partied with me. I shared.
Do you have that recorded at all?
I do. Yeah. Okay, we can share them both maybe. I shared a tiny bachelorette party with my good friend Amy, who's the goddamn dog sitter. We both got married over the summer, and we had one special bachelorette party, and Tuna from Instagram fame, Tuna Melts My Heart.
Yeah.
Made a personalized video for us where he
Thanks, Mr. Ty. Appreciate it.
Where he ate cake on our behalf. It was wonderful.
It was awesome. All right, so we are now 1/2 hour through this legendary dollop of steamy entertainment is what I like to call it. Wow. And now we get to our favorite part of the show, my favorite part of the show.
Oh, my favorite
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for...
Oh, boss, I forgot. I thought you got her. Yes, of course, Shannon got you a Cameo. Of course, I should have known that. Sorry.
You interrupted.
I ruined it.
You interrupted my song.
Ruined it.
Let me see if I hold on. I gotta find my motivation. Center. Ba-da-ba. It's time for pup dates.
Oh, come on, Tiny.
Look at our little pumpkin. Little pumpkins had to go away for a couple days, and they stayed with the goddamn dog sitter. And Squeaks is all about A and very little else in the world. But when she came back, they came back yesterday. And
It's true.
I had little tiny Squeaks sat on my lap for 3.5 hours and fell asleep. My back hurt. I had to pee. There was something wrong with my leg. Was falling asleep. I'm like, not moving. I'm just gonna ride this out because this dog never gives me this kind of attention. So I just hung out with the dog.
And today she got groomed today because she's a butt scooter. But before she went to the groomer, she spent all day on Scott's desk right here. And then when she came back, she was like, you know what? You took me to the groomer. I'm going to hang with Papa.
Is Debbie the one who let you know about the script? Or she already knows it?
You already know it. I didn't mention you by name just in case, but
all
yes.
Right. Going back to now the pup dates, and then...
And yes, Sean, he's been over the moon all day, so totally worth it.
We have, of course, we have Squeaks, and we have Reese. They're the dogs of doom.
So this is actually Squeaky in the Office of Doom before we moved.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that because every time I see The Office, it's
very nice. She's so little. So we have Squeaks, we have Reese. Those are the dogs of doom. And then we are lucky enough, we used to have a dog get dropped off every day. Every weekday, we would get Stella every day. And since the pandemic, we haven't had that. But we have Stella right now. So today's pup picture is going to be Stella and Reese dressed up in Generations trilogy garb. The goddamn dog sitter took this picture.
No. I took this because...
Oh, wait, that's not from the goddamn dog sitter, right? Who sent that?
No, it was... So Stella showed up. So Stella used to come to the office every weekday.
Uh-huh.
Books come out on a Tuesday. A light came out on a Tuesday. She dropped her off wearing that little... Generations tie and collar, and she brought one for Reese. And at the time when a light came out, Squeaky did not exist, so there were only two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what I love so much
that.
about this is eventually there was a loan, and we had Squeaky, and we had to she had to make one because she wasn't able to find this again, and she made one. She made a third collar and tie so that we could take an alone photo. But look at how serious they are.
Yeah, Reese is very serious about she's
and Stella's an enforcer. Look at her.
Stella's got that wide old jaw.
Robin Taylor is right. Small town pizza lawyer dogs.
All right, and now we get to the other fun part of the show, which is not our pups, but the pets of all y'all. Who is this, sweetheart?
Let me call this up. Okay, so this, oh my gosh, this is Robin Taylor's Dolly Purton. Dolly Purton had a birthday on January 19th because Dolly shares her birthday with her hero, Dolly Parton.
Okay.
Dolly Purton and Dolly Parton both had a birthday on January 19th, and this is her excited about her birthday box. Robin did ask if Dolly Purton for her birthday could get a ring walk-up from you.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to do that after I do the other ones, or you want to do that now? Or you want to do it next week?
No, we're going to do it on the fly. Let me see if I've got...
Yes, Andrea, absolutely. If it fits, she sits.
All right. Nelson, sorry about this.
He doesn't care. He tells you every time he doesn't care.
Okay, I thought
every time.
I'm still going to
He's like, I still don't care.
I
know, that's fair. That's fine.
So this is Dolly Purton?
Purton, yep. Purton.
And in this corner, weighing in at 8 pounds 2 ounces, which would be 7 pounds 1 ounce without the empty box from UPS. Watch out for her tendency to grab a red chair and smash it over the head of anyone she faces. She is the calico with all of the Gallico, because nothing rhymes with calico. She's got the white, she's got the tan, she's got the black. She will stab you in the back. It's Dolly Parton. Dude, what is nothing rhyme with calico?
Portico?
It's pretty close. Usually I can start saying a word and the part of me that's been podcasting 15 years kind of runs ahead and finds a rhyme and then figures it out. I got stymied.
You got stymied.
I got stymied. All right. Who is next on this lovely list of pups? Here we go. Boom.
Oh my goodness. So I love this. So I will say, let me scroll down. I'm looking at junkies right now. So that was Dolly Purton's 9th birthday, and there's your ring walk-up gift. Andrea Miner, who is in the chat room now, serves out quite a handful of the rest of our pet dates.
Okay.
She has 2, 3, and 4 here. This one is Ripley.
Ripley, love
which
it.
I know you're going to love.
Love it.
Who loves to silently tap while she's waiting for her share of your dinner. And you understand that we don't call it tap, we call it bapping. Because Reese, when she wants something, will come up to you and be like...
Reese will just come out and be like, she'll sit there and then she'll bat, and then wait and then bat. Sometimes that means she's got to go, so you pay attention to it, but it's can get a little crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
So that is Ripley, and Ripley looks lovely. She's 8 months old, or they're 8 months old. I don't know if it's a he or she actually.
Chris McWhite is running.
Oh, her share.
Christmas in the chat room. Chris McWhite is running in circles sans pants right now, so that's good. I've heard of sans a belt, but sans pants, you don't need a belt at all if you got no pants on.
It's true.
It's very efficient. Chris is a very efficient guy.
I love him.
He really
love him.
dials it down.
Also, he has so many sartorial choices with his masks.
Yes.
That every day I'm impressed. He's got all the 12 doctors. God. He's got all sorts of. I really thought we would see some different fabrics, February fabrics, because we saw those earlier for Black History Month, and I think we're going to. But I love every flag that Chris McWhite flies. He's a geek. He's a building inspector, so he shares all these really cool things on Instagram. He's also a Pokemon fan, which I am too.
He's got a lot.
He's got
a lot going on. Got a lot going on. And Sean Dyer just saved the day. She is the calico who is simpatico. It's Dolly. Well done.
That's great.
Well done.
That's great.
All right, now let's go to the next pet. And what do we got here?
Okay, so this is also Andrea Miner's. I got super excited because I thought her name was Aya, which will come to be important in 2021 in Siglerism. But her name is Ayla, Ayla. Okay. Who will silently judge you from afar by thinking, why, yes, my tail is beautiful. Don't touch it.
Don't hate me because my hair is beautiful.
Tail. Which it is. It's beautiful.
I was cribbing a Snoop line.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Sorry. How dare I?
I am trying to implement a Snoop Dogg line and you shoot me down on grammatical purposes? I'm going to go have my gin and juice. Be rolling it. There we go. And next...
This is also the last member of the pack at Andrea Miner's house. This is Murphy, the much put upon old man who spends most of his time wondering who those young whippersnappers, who are both 8 months old, are and why they're in his house.
When I was a kid, we didn't have any goddamn cats.
But come on now, Murphy is all like, guys, thank you for this orthopedic bed. And you guys, there's so many cats.
It's always hard.
So many cats.
Hard to see a dog get older. At the same time, they sleep
Ayla,
a lot. They make little noises. It's with their nose. It's okay. And then moving on. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Next one is...
So these are sort of fun. Of course, Stella is here with us. She's actually right here. I'll show her to you in a little bit, I think. She's sleeping, though. So this is Stella at Siglerfest, I think 2019. I'm not 100%. And Jenna sent this in. We're going to see another one, too. But she said, you guys are always showing us pup dates, and I want to send up pup dates of the Dogs of Doom. Yep. So this is Stella. If you have ever met Stella,
look at that.
Of course, at the Office of Doom at Siglerfest, Stella is the best dog. She is friendly for everybody. She's such a good girl. She loves to play. She loves to chase balls. She loves to play tug of war. Mm-hmm. She's the best pup. She's here with us for a few days because her new sister is a lot.
And then our final picture for Pupdates also coming from
Jenna and Siglerfest. This is Reese. Like, hi, do you have treats? Can I go home with you? Can we do anything?
Look at those ears.
Yeah, I actually, Robin, I thought of you. I thought you would love to see these Siglerfest pictures of the Dogs of Doom because you love when they show up at Siglerfest or when they showed up at Siglerfest so much. So
Reese has three main positions of the ears. One up, one down. That's standard fare. Both down looks exactly like Dobby from Harry Potter. And then this is X-Foils extended, moving into attack mode. Everything is flipped up and ready to go. So, baby girl, let's see. Let's get back here. And now it's time to look at a couple of junkies, right?
Oh, yeah. We don't have a ton, but we have a few. So, here we go. We shrink ourselves down into small town because you guys are what it's all about.
Here we go.
So this is, if you guys don't know who this is by sight, that's totally cool. But this is Dr. Francis Collins. He runs a little business you may know as the National Institutes of Health in the United States, a position he has held for the last 16 plus years.
Yep.
Francis Collins runs the NIH in the United States. And our good friend Todd Taylor, who lives and works in Japan, he's a geneticist. Actually gave Scott, when he first met Scott, gave Scott a copy of Francis Collins' book, which is all about DNA, which Ancestor, of course, weighs heavily into the DNA territory,
Yep.
and asked if Scott would sign a book to Francis Collins so that he might someday deliver Ancestor to Francis Collins as well. And then he did that. This is actually an old photo. He did this, I think, in 2016 or 17.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite part of this is when he accepted the book, he said, he said, okay, so this is what he said to the person who delivered the book to him, because Todd lives in Japan, so he gave it to a colleague of his, is that Francis is holding the book and is terribly interested to read it to figure out why he may be eaten. Because the inscription that Scott wrote in that book is Francis, comma, don't get eaten.
Don't get eaten.
Period.
Very don't get eaten. It's very important. All right.
Which
And
I love.
Next we have...
This is super cool. This is the person who sent this is Steve Compton, and this is his daughter Emma. Emma is 16 years old, and he said, "This is my own Becca the Recca."
Oh.
She's 16, a sophomore at Chatfield Senior High School. She just made. He said she just made the schoolies. I don't know what that means actually. The school ice hockey team.
Yes.
Sorry, school and ice were merged. School ice hockey team. She's the only girl on the team and will be playing boys checking hockey.
Wow, cool.
She is
Dope.
a junior junkie, loves the GFL and the Generation stories.
Yes.
And then he thought he could only send in pup dates. So she's like, she's absolutely not a pet, but something for the junkie. Shout outs on the next live show. Comptonius. She's awesome. She's absolutely your Becca the Recca, and I hope she does great.
Okay, and last one we have is...
Well, okay, you guys. So our own John Vizcarra, Big John, sent this in not too long ago. As you guys know, John... oh, come on. John is currently undergoing treatment for cancer. He is having a little bit of a rough week, so I figured I'd pull this out. He said, I want to send this in as a consideration for junkie updates. I have saved this photo as siglerfarts.jpg. So I have no idea if we were actually talking about tooting, but I thought I don't have very many pictures where I have no neck at all, so I figured I'd share.
Yeah, it does look like I'm like mid, like just past the apex of the fart.
I mean, we don't need to.
Let's get a little. No, we gotta get
Oh
this
Lord.
right.
Oh Lord.
You know, you have your starting face. Your starting face is kind of like this, like you're like it's pending.
None of this is
TIE fighters incoming, and you kind of listen. You listen for that sound. Then there's the initial, like that. It surprises you a little bit.
Nope.
Then as you roll into it, you're like, and then there's the when it's coming back down, you're like, and it's the pre-smile.
No one should know what
pre-smile.
that face looked like
And
for
then-
you.
and
No
then-
one, not even me.
It just saw
Exactly,
what it looks
Chris.
like.
Exactly, Chris McWhite. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh
And then-
Lord. Oh Lord.
And then there's the follow-up where you're just like, whoo, ha, ha. Like you just laugh and waft it toward people.
Look at Smorg.
What's Smorg say?
She's not wrong.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh no, I think the "oh no, it's a wet one" face is much more panicky, more like.
It's so cringeworthy. This is how much I love Big John. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
And that is. Oh, we got updates on the Gangster. Did you already do that? I think you already did that.
We did. I think we covered everything except for the Stone Wolves. So we are currently recording the Stone Wolves.
Yep.
I will tell you guys, the Stone Wolves, if you don't already know, is this. It is a parallel story to the Gangster, which you are currently hearing, or if you got the ebook, you may be reading. It exists sort of in the same timeline. You could have read either one first, so these are sort of overlapping stories, which means there's a lot, tiny spoiler alert, there's a lot of the same characters that you see in the Gangster, including some of Quentin's family, some, maybe Quentin's dad. And that is a a big voice. And so that takes a lot of time and energy to do. So we're working on that. It'll probably come out in late second quarter is my guess. That's a digital only book.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go to questions.
Okie doke. Let me call them up. Do you guys have any questions in the chat room? Well, some more guests.
All
We
right.
have a shitboat load of nickels, but I don't know what that's about.
You look up, I think that's a Blazing Saddles reference to the Beans scene in Blazing Saddles. Somebody's going to have to go back and get a shitload of dimes. Actually, I'm not sure that's reference, but those of you who know Blazing Saddles know that very, very, very well.
Are you ready?
Hold on. First of all, we have to go to go to more, and then we got to go to more, and then we got questions. Oh, we've got questions.
It's a new one.
Wait, which Simpson is this again?
I think that's Selma.
We've got Selma offering to sell some things that I don't want to know what they are, but they could be used for nefarious purposes. All right, now we're back to questions, and let's go back to here, and we'll go to Shibu. There we go.
Okay, so from Ellie Swanson, she says, these are, of course, potentially spoilery. Ellie Swanson asks, if there is no radiation in the air, what do Prawat eat?
If there's no radiation in the air, what do Prawat eat?
I think she's asking after Complex God.
Yes, yes. Well, the Prawat have gone through several centuries of evolution. So now they eat all kinds of good stuff. There's even a long-standing rumor in the Milky Way at large that they will eat anything and everything, including sentient creatures. Of course, the Sklerno are well known to eat other Sklerno. The key eat humans, humans eat key, humans eat Sklerno, Sklerno eat humans, but the Prawat are rumored to eat just about anything that moves or does not move. So they get their nutrition from other places. We don't get into it too much. Hopefully I'll have a chance to get into that further down the road, but they are more mineral based than biologically based. So what they eat, they could eat us and they wouldn't get a whole lot of value out of it, as opposed to just going out and eating a big pile of dirt and get a lot of the stuff that they need to replicate.
So is there any creature in this Earth universe that you kind of thought about for that? Is that some sort of phage or something or anything? Or
well,
no?
there are some extremophiles that live far, far down in the cracks in geothermal temperatures very high, in sulfur springs down by the ocean. There are bacteria that eat stuff that scientists as little as 25 years ago thought were completely inedible, nothing could eat it. And what you're finding is almost anywhere there is a source of energy and materials that can be broken down and digested and reassembled, that something will eventually move into that niche and learn to eat that and survive. Because the thing is, if you've got an untapped energy source or an untapped supply of material that nothing else is going after, the first couple of mutations that allow you to start consuming in that area moves you into a zone of little or no competition. And evolution rewards heavily those things that find zones of little or no competition. And then once you sort of have a foothold in that area, then adaptive radiation from that initial generation goes crazy and they fill it up.
I read something, I don't even think last year, it might have been the year before, something about like there's heat vents in the Mariana Trench, steam vents in the Mariana Trench, where they thought, of course, it's 1 billion degrees, not literally, but it's a bunch of degrees and nothing could live down there. And then they actually captured water, and there are things that feed off that energy. It's that kind of idea, right? It's
that kind of idea. And the smokers, if you've seen those, look those up on YouTube. The geothermal vents way down the bottom of the ocean where there's no sunlight at all. So there's no ability for the primary energy generator that has given all of us life and everything we see around us life. It's not present, but there is a huge source of heat and energy down there. So you've got bacteria that are converting those raw material, eating them, digesting them. Then eventually you've had things that eat the bacteria, then things that eat the things that eat the bacteria. And it's absolutely incredible stuff. So that was one of the big inspirations for the Prawat. And of course, another thing you guys should look up is whale fall. Whale fall is one of the most...
whale, W-H-A-L-E?
W-H-A-L-E. So when you're a deep sea blue whale and you die, you sink to the bottom of the ocean where, again, there is no sunlight, etc. And there's an entire ecosystem that has evolved around eating whale carcasses way down deep, and it's mesmerizing, and that's where the reef came from.
So we have two questions from the chat room that I'll ask. First, I think Brandon Remillard asked about the print version of Fitzroy, and that will come out on December 3rd of this year. December 3rd of this year, Fitzroy print and ebook will come out. And also, Kim Hansen asked, what's your favorite part of the writing process?
Hold on, I'm doing a Brundlefly reference.
Okay. I do like that little golden who has the flannel season.
I think my favorite part of the writing process, I think outlining actually is a lot of fun because it hasn't broken yet, and you get to kind of explore where everything's going. That's where most of the research comes in. Like, oh, you know what? I saw this YouTube video about whale fall, and I would like to come up with an idea for a story behind that. So you get in there and you research all that and you take notes. And so that's probably the best part. Is it's not the idea generation phase, because we probably don't get through one night in this house without me pausing the TV at least twice going, hey, it'd be a really good story. And then we'll listen and we'll sometimes we write them down, but we're so far behind, we don't know if we'll ever get to them. So the idea generation is kind of always going. Sitting down to actually outline something, that's very fun because that's more of the commitment. Like, we are moving forward with this thing.
Yeah, and we are currently we're trying to streamline our work week, which sounds crazy when we're staying at home and we don't have a lot of work week other influences, but we are trying really hard to. We've tried different project management software over the years, Evernote, Remember the Milk, all that stuff, things to do, all that. And we're trying to sort of streamline that because now they've all become subscription-based, so we want to get that in the same places so that we're not paying 17 subscriptions. And one of the things that we keep finding is Scott has so many story ideas. They show up everywhere. There's some are in Evernote, some are in Remember the Milk, some are in, what's that, database? They used to be Bento.
Oh, I'll look it up.
NVIDIA, something. And then there's some that are just in Dropbox as a list. There's some in Google Sheets that are such a list.
Nitix. Originally, it was FileMaker Pro, and the original version of FileMaker Pro. Then it became Bento, and then after Bento went bent up, we got Nitix. So now I can take ideas on the phone, write a story, fill out a story idea file. Or do it on the computer, etc.
Yeah, so that's one of my goals for 2021 is to kind of at least centralize every one of those, because some of them are, in a management software that we don't use as much anymore, and I don't want them to get lost. So we're going to move all those.
I'm sorry. I should have been back in questions too. There we go.
So let's see. We have...
real quick, we had a Baza question out there. So
is the Crypt still after the GFL Book 6 end novella?
Right now, it is Recording the Stone Wolves, then the second draft of GFL Book 7, and then I can, get that off to the editors that be. And as soon as that's done, boom, going into the Crypt. And I am contemplating writing both Crypt Book 1 and Book 2 at the same time, like Back to the Future, so to speak.
Which you guys, if you have read what you understand is Crypt Book 1, the crew stories, he's talking about 2 and 3 in your world, but we're thinking of
it'll all be broken up.
So don't worry. It's not like he's rewriting from the start.
Yeah, all the stuff that you've already consumed is going to be in the Crypt Book 1, 2, or 3. We're gonna mix it up. I'm starting to wonder if obviously there's crew stories to start out, but this may become a little bit more Lost-ish. We may start out because we're trying to build an IP and a franchise here. So we may start out with Captain Travis Ellis getting to the ship and only a little bit of foreshadowing, and then at the ship, and as he's on the ship, and he knows all the people in the ship are awful, horrible people that have done horrible things, but their files are going to be sealed, probably. Right. So he won't know exactly what everybody's done, and that information will slowly come out.
Exactly. We have a couple of crypt questions, so I'm going to answer the first one. Aaron, our process is the very last edit that we do on a manuscript is that we record the audiobook. And if it's a book that Scott is recording, that's the last step. Because as he goes through it, he changes a few little things here and there, and that becomes the final manuscript. We see typos, he corrects attributions that didn't sound quite right, words that didn't sound quite right, things like that. So right now we're recording the Stone Wolves. It will go into ebook production, meaning the layout and design of the production, which takes for ebooks, it only takes a couple of weeks. It doesn't take as long as the other books or the other versions formats. So no, there is no deadline or projection right now for the Stone Wolves ebook. But what I can tell you is that we expect to have the audiobook recorded by the end of December. I didn't say out, I said recorded by the end of December. Once it's recorded, we know all the fixes that Scott will make to the final manuscript, and we send that to ebook production. Mm-hmm. So my guess is that sometime in March, you'll get the Stone Wolves ebook, followed not too far behind by the Stone Wolves audiobook. Steve Rickeberg, who is in the chat room right now, he is currently actively editing the Stone Wolves audio as we record it. So he's, he's recording the things that he's editing the things that we recorded yesterday or the day before. So that's going to keep pretty much a pace, and we're going to be ready to go once the audiobook is recorded. We're going to be able to put the manuscript into production. That takes a couple of weeks. So I imagine in late March, early April, you'll probably get both of those books.
Yeah.
Both of those versions. I'm sorry. The Stone Wolves audio, the Stone Wolves ebook.
Howard mentions he's hoping for more passenger stories. You will not be disappointed, sir. Will not be disappointed. All right. Any more questions in the chat room, sweetie? Or we got more in here?
We do have tons. Neil, yeah, we're working on that. This is not a thing we're going to discuss publicly, but I appreciate that he flamed out there sort of at the end of his social media career. So we're working on that.
We'll address that.
Okay, so Zell King says, longtime listener and junkie. My question is, with the upcoming release by Games Workshop of Blood Bowl Season 2 and the video game Blood Bowl 3, is there any chance of a GFL tabletop game or video game?
I don't think so. We would love to work with Games Workshop or the video game. You've already got a very fun football-esque, rugby-esque game that already features a lot of zombies, ghosts, ghouls, goblins, orcs, all that kind of stuff. The undead, elves, all kinds of cool stuff. My preference would be to be able to work with those guys to get GFL minis made and put them in there. But as far as a football game for the GFL, video or board game, I doubt it, because there's already very good games out there. It's a question of getting the property big enough where somebody like the Blood Bowl video game guys, who are great guys, or Games Workshop says, this would be a great expansion pack. We would like to do this, where they know they're going to sell enough units to justify the cost that they put in. We really haven't approached Games Workshop. We absolutely should do that. I think
I know you've talked to the Blood Bowl guys a couple of times.
Blood Bowl video guys, yeah. We actually we were talking to them a lot, and it's just the cost to make a video game, even an indie video game, is pretty high. And I think it's a lot cheaper to make actual physical minis than it is to model up the creatures. The problem is the GFL creatures. If you've played Blood Bowl, 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, 2 eyes, nose, mouth. It's all the video game.
It's just skinning different.
They're just bigger or smaller, shorter or taller. Whereas to do a key, that's a whole ground floor build of something with 6 legs and 4 arms. Sklorno, you have to redo all the physics of all that stuff. So it's not financially compelling for them to do that.
So I'm going to give a super short answer. Chris McWhite and Howard DiNatale are talking about Blue Balls novella. That is almost assuredly not going to happen. There are active scripts, episode scripts that you can listen to. If you go and search Blue Balls at scottsigler.com, you can listen to the table read for the first, I think it's 3 episodes or something. I think that's probably where it's going to stay.
Yeah.
And then Bradford Remillard, years ago, we were talking about people getting one of the TV series stories on the TV. Right now, pretty much everything that we're doing with Hollywood is in the same holding pattern that Hollywood is in. Mm-hmm. Hollywood can't safely record film or have sets in a pandemic. So that entire industry has been sort of crippled by the pandemic, like so many others. So right now we're in a holding pattern. We're focusing this year a little bit on the things we can do from this new layer of doom. But we would certainly be willing and able and open to doing that. But right now we're in the same holding pattern. Right. Everybody else is.
We can do one more question. We got any recorded questions, or you want to just go to here?
So Chris McWhite has. I love a backstory on key GFL teammates. Maybe a key. So you're talking about novellas.
Yeah, the key. There's still a lot coming with the key as far as what's going to happen in the Siglerverse, and it won't be really until book 8 that you start to get a more deep dive into their culture. And those of you who know the Siglerverse well already see one of the major connections from modern day to the GFL era. And then in book 8, we'll tie that up. The goal is by book 8 of the GFL, we tie up everything. Everything gets tied up with a neat little bow. There's no it's an ambiguous ending. How do you think the characters turned out? Which when I watch that stuff, I'm like, you lazy writers, stop trying to pretend you did this on purpose. You didn't know what you were doing. You ran out of time. Just tell people the truth that you were like, hey man, I didn't know where it was going. It could go anywhere. What do you think? Don't pretend like you did it. It drives me crazy. Don't pretend like you didn't write an ending and you meant to not write an ending when you tried to tell everybody it was an ending all along. GFL will end. So much stuff will get tied up together. It will be dope.
So Neil, you can answer Neil's question if you want, or I can record it for next week if you'd rather.
We'll do this real quick. This will be the last question. As both a writer and musician, would you rather play bass in the rock bottom remainders, Stephen King, Amy Tan, and Dave Barry's band, or be a ghostwriter for someone like James Patterson, sell lots of books but get no credit? I have zero interest in being a ghostwriter for anyone ever for any amount of money. We have worked really, really hard to get to the point where we are, which is now where I can submit stuff to a big publisher. I cannot submit stuff to a big publisher. Our fan base is sufficient enough, and A's work on the back end to build what she calls our digital pension. All the audiobooks, all the ebooks, everything that is just continuing to sell as people who've never heard of me gradually discover me. And our cost of living is really not that exorbitant. So I don't, I would consider co-writing one book with James Patterson because that's an amazing amount of exposure. But we've done media tie-ins with aliens, and it doesn't, there's not that much of a boost. And when you do that, when you're writing in somebody else's world, there's two things that happen. Number one, your royalties are probably non-existent. Like if the 20th Century Fox decides they're going to write Aliens Phalanx as the next movie, and it sells 8 million copies of the book, I don't see another penny. That is not conducive to building a long-term business. So you can do that every now and then as a passion project. I wrote Aliens Phalanx because I love the franchise and it was fun. I love it. But if I was to do that once a year, once every other year, that would cripple our ability to make money. So no, I'm not really interested in that at all.
And to be fair, to do things like this, like the reason we can do things that don't generate income is that we do things that do. So that's probably unlikely. I'll also say this. I'll make sure Scott answers this. I also am not sure that you would like to be in the rock bottom remainders either.
Oh,
that's not your...
I would jam. I'd
go jam out with them.
I'd go out in a heartbeat. I'd go out and play.
Which is, I guess, what they do. Yeah, so you would be in the rock bottom remainders.
Yeah, I would. It's a pretty simple concept. I believe they send out a set list. Everybody learn these songs. They get together. I think they get to rehearse maybe once before a show, if I understand it correctly.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's not, they're not out there to show off as accomplished musicians. It's a super fun thing. Everybody jams. Everybody's fans come. They get to have a good time. I don't know if Stephen King is doing it anymore. He's up there in years.
I don't think anybody is currently doing it, but for a while they used to do it maybe once a year.
That was a goal at one point. Way back when I was in college, I'm like, oh, it'd be super fun to be in a band with Stephen King.
Very fun. I didn't know that.
It's it's a different echelon of writers.
So I think we're done for the day. It is 7:03. We will see you guys next week. All I can say is, if you have anything that you would like us to talk about or you would like to share on SIGLERinPLACE, including Pupdates or junkie updates or cool headlines of the week, email info@emptyset, and we will get that on the show as appropriate.
We will be back Wednesday, February 12th, 2021.
And no, 17th. Why does it say 12th?
Oh, it doesn't. I read it wrong.
Wow.
A 7 and 2 look a lot alike.
They do.
We'll be back February 17th, 2020. It is Random Acts of Kindness Day. So do a random act of kindness.
Tell us about it.
I don't have a random act of kindness shirt, like I have a flannel shirt. I'll do the best I can.
But go ahead and do a random act of kindness and send us the info, and we'll talk about it on Random Act of Kindness Day.
Yep.
Until then, you guys. Now we're doing 4 layers. 2 masks, 4 layers. We need you to stay safe.
We want you to stay smart.
We need you to stay science, you guys.
And for the love of science, stay informed. We're almost out of the woods. Maybe another 4 or 5 or 6 months. And then we'll be all a bunch of shots in our arms and everybody will be very happy.
And we'll be here for you on Wednesdays until we're all out from under this.
So we are going to get ready. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to give you all a big kiss off into the sky. Ready? Mwah!